sometimes people listen to our podcast and like fans have told us, and now it's like a thing that they'll tweet at us. They'll be like, they won't know our names, but they're like, oh, we're listening to your podcast, but which one are you? Are you the fun one or the old one? I'm the fun one. So it's like, people just be calling him old and shit. It's funny. I genuinely think he didn't come today. He said that he had to do painters were at his house, but I think he's genuinely scared of Corona.
Is he?
I think he is.
Are you? I feel like you might be patient zero.
I probably...
If it didn't start in China, if it started here, if there was a disease that started in New York City, I would say it's Chris Distefano. I'd say go check him first.
I would say yes, but if I manage not to get herpes, I feel like I'm not going to get corona. I mean, I cannot believe every single time I go get test results and they're like, all you have is chlamydia. I'm like, that's it.
They're like, I can see the doctor being like, well, it's chlamydia again.
I feel like you just have permanent chlamydia at this point.
It's just a part of me.
Yeah. Like I wake up, my back hurts all the time. I don't have a back problem. My back just always hurts.
My back just always hurts. Yeah.
You just always have chlamydia.
I'm just 24/7 Chrissy drip drop.
It's just the symptoms. No, it's just permanent symptoms of chlamydia, whether or not you even have it. It's just your body just knows to do it.
I just feel like, well, I mean, what are we going to do? Like, what do you want me to do? I wash my hands. I wash my ass. I always have as close to 100% clean ass, and now as close to 100% washed hands.
You always did a hand wash.
Always did a hand wash.
For me.
I'm new with the new. I just washed mine. I'm new.
At Purell, I wash my hands.
I Purell like a motherfucker. Did you know you can take your fingerprints off with that though?
Good.
Yeah, right.
Good.
Like
That's
fucking Men in Black style, just like fucking
out of the database.
Yeah.
But then if it's in the air, like we were talking about before, it's like everyone's going to have to get it, and then you get immune to it after you get it. Just give it to me.
Is that the case though?
That's
I'm hearing that it can mutate and you get another version of it.
Here's what I know for sure. It's so funny with the internet because people come into work being like, I know exactly what this thing does. It's like, guy, no, you don't. You're reading
read a tweet.
You're reading articles that somebody else wrote. Like, you don't even know if the guy that wrote the article could just have been writing that thing on crystal meth.
And also, no one's reading articles. You're reading a headline.
You're reading a headline.
You're reading an article.
Listen to what the scientists say.
All right, but even that, it's like, I don't know who the scientists are. You know
true.
what I mean? Like, if someone writes an article and they're like, I have my PhD from Harvard and I'm a scientist, I'd be like, okay. I mean, I don't fucking know. This is my problem with everything. This is why I say I still don't know if the world's round, because like I'm just hearing from people.
Yeah, I don't.
Everything I know is just somebody telling me, and whether I choose to trust them.
I don't know. I'm taking the precautions. I'm washing my hands. I'm washing my ass. I'm staying away from Asians. I don't know what else to do. I'm not wearing condoms. I don't know what.
Yeah, it's very like the everyone's changing their whole lives except for like, well, I'm still gonna fuck strangers and touch their body all over and whatever.
No, I actually I don't know. I don't know if Asian people are to blame, because at first I used to think it's from eating bats, but now I don't think it's from eating bats.
I think it's from eating bats.
You think it's from eating bats?
I think they were eating bats.
I think it could be biochemical warfare.
Oh, right.
That was when it first started. That was a thing because it started. Wuhan was so close to Hong Kong that it was a rumor
protesters, right?
That it was like to fuck Hong Kong. Like, we'll start it in China a little bit just so it's not too suspicious, and then we'll just let it jump over the border real quick.
I think it's probably biochemical warfare. And then
you think it's gotten out of like a mistake, like, oh shit, we fucked up, or I think they
biochemically make diseases, and then I think that one got out, and now I think the Chinese are smart because what they're like, especially like the coastal cities, New York or LA, it's like a lot of like crazy like hipster white people that are like, oh my god, so they'll buy the masks. But then those masks are made in China.
Right.
So they put the corona on the mask, and then they give them to the people, and then it keeps circulating and crashes the economy. I'm not above saying that this is a whole thing just by the Democrats to just get Trump out of office. It's not. It was crazy 2 weeks ago, but now I'm like, it could potentially.
Yeah, but
it's always an election year disease.
This is the thing. It, like everything the Democrats do, it just doesn't work. Right. Because now what's going to happen is Trump's going to go, I'm not fucking afraid of this. And everyone's going to go, yeah, we ain't fucking afraid of this. Let's vote for him again.
100%.
So it's like you're everything they do backfires.
100%. I agree. So I don't know what's going to happen. I am starting to get a slight cough in the last 5 minutes. So I think it's beginning. It has begun. It has begun.
It's always one of those things where you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did I just like choke on my lunch, or am I dying?
My favorite part of it is like the misinformation that just happens, not intentionally, not like people trying to spread stuff, just like it just happens. That's how communication happens. Like, we had it in the office yesterday. I had a little cough in the bathroom, right? And then I was like, oh boy, I might be getting sick. And then I get out here and someone's like, girl on the 3rd floor was just in Italy. She's been sick. She went home. I got red hot. I was like, fuck, I got it. I got the Rona.
So your brain just gave it to you.
And then like the whole office just started freaking out. Like even Dave was like, I wouldn't have been talking shit about Corona if I knew someone was in the office with it.
Yeah.
And then within an hour, I think it was all corrected. It's like, no, she was in England, dude. Like it was.
Yeah.
Not
it's
Italy.
just it's very easily spread and then easily
They're like,
thought
no,
like I have
dude,
it.
she wasn't. She had fettuccine Alfredo last night.
Right.
She wasn't
She
in
went to
Italy.
the Olive Garden. She went to Italy. She
And then
went
people,
to Italy.
people were like, no, like it's the same thing. It's like, no, it's not. It's like being like she was in Wuhan versus she was in Jacksonville. They're completely there's nothing in fucking England.
We should put the people who live in Wuhan in Jacksonville. We should clear that city out. Yeah. That's just geographically, Jacksonville's the biggest city in the U.S.
Yeah.
But
Really?
it's like, why?
Dude,
why
I
is
went
that such
to-
a big city?
How many people?
It's
No, it's not about people.
right. But I'm saying, so like,
I don't know. Yeah.
So you got a lot of space in
Dude,
Jacksonville.
I went to Florida State, so I went to school in Tallahassee, and a lot of time I'd fly out of Jacksonville just because they would do direct flights to Boston, and I would always be late, right? Because it's a 2-hour drive or so, and I'd be fucking humming, and I would hit like entering Jacksonville,
yeah.
and I'd relax, like, all right, I'm almost there.
like an hour
That was like an hour and a half from the airport. It's just so fucking long. And
I
so,
believe it.
So
Ridiculous.
spacious. It was awful.
I
awful
know, dude.
town.
Jacksonville. Fuck Jacksonville. That's what I'm here to say. Coronavirus doesn't scare me.
Duval, suck a dick.
Yeah.
So you're, you're in the clubs. You're still meeting fans,
listen.
doing like meet and greets and shaking hands and shit.
I don't know. I still am, but I feel like it's going to be, I'm not the guy being like, this isn't a real disease.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
know
somewhere
that
in the
it's
middle.
real
Yeah.
and I know that it's a problem, but like, I don't have like that fear and I feel like I should, but I don't. I'm like, I'll still shake your hand. I'll just wash it. I don't know. Like,
I'm definitely still touching my face.
yeah, I'm touching my face. I'm picking my nose, eating my
my nose
boogers, biting
all
my
the time.
nails.
I'm a
dude,
huge
I
nose
fucking
picker.
stick
For
my
nail
finger in my
biters.
ass still. Yeah. Literally, dude. It's like, what's the problem? You know? I mean, what am I going to do? Like, what am I supposed to do? So
It is weird though, like the finger in the ass. Like when I jerk off, I'm not doing finger in the ass, but like when I jerk off,
Like, but back to that.
I'm like, I gotta go wash my hands immediately,
Right.
Because I'll get corona with my own cum.
right.
That's like I'm
I'm worried about
convinced
giving
that'll
corona to
happen.
my dick. I mean, the other way. Like, I gotta wash my dick afterwards, not my hands.
Oh no! See, I know it's nonsensical, but I'm like, oh boy, that's got corona. On it.
People
If
are-
anything in my body has
something.
corona, it's my cum for sure.
Well, even like the mics that we're using, like people
Oh,
starting to bring their
yeah.
own mic covers now and their own mics, which I guess is like a good kind of idea, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I have like a death wish or if I'm not as panicked about it.
You know what
Yeah.
mine is, and I know for sure this is it. It's what I've done my whole life. Where if I don't try, and I get it, then whatever. So like, I'm not even trying to be safe. Because then if I get it, it's like, well, John, you weren't even trying to protect yourself, so it
good
makes
call.
sense.
You don't want to fail.
You didn't
don't want
fuck
to try.
up.
And
Yeah,
fail?
I don't want to fail
Yeah.
at not getting corona.
That's interesting because
So
I got a friend. I got one of my friends. He's a gay guy. He just found out he has HIV.
It's called a boyfriend. You can
Yeah,
just
yeah. It's called my husband. I've met this guy on Grindr, and he just told me he has HIV. He wanted to bug chase. No, his friend, and he just
that's
told me.
tough.
I was like, dude, like, I'm sorry. And he goes, honestly, man. He goes, I've been having so much unprotected sex with men for like the last 20 years, and I never got it, and I was always nervous and always worried. He said, but now that I have it, my anxiety is the lowest it's ever been in my life because I finally have AIDS. and I was like, wow, all right.
Talk about glass half full.
Yeah. So he was like, dude, get AIDS. It's the best thing that ever happened to me.
I understand
finally
that.
off my anti-anxiety meds. It's great. Saving
No,
a
he was like-
load
he
at
was
the
like,
pharmacy.
he was like, I sleep at night. I don't worry about going to the doctor because I fucking have AIDS.
I get it with like, I thought that about coronavirus. Like, let me just get this and hopefully
Right.
beat it and be done with it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would think that about AIDS.
Not about AIDS.
But to be honest, AIDS is done now. It's a wrap for AIDS.
It is. Feels like a wrap. Yeah,
Yeah.
It feels like it's over. It feels like Corona's the new AIDS.
I mean, exactly.
Corona is the new
I
age.
just put out an episode on the other podcast of the best urban legends, and I don't think Magic ever had AIDS, and I don't even know if AIDS.
Are we talking about urban legends meaning black legends or urban What are we talking about?
I don't know. I can't decide whether I think the urban legend is that Magic never had AIDS or that Magic or that like I think the government might have contacted Magic and said we're
Right.
gonna give you $1 billion to be the face of AIDS because we got to calm down the hysteria.
We got to calm down the hysteria. Well, that's what I think is going to happen with Corona.
I didn't know that. I didn't even know that was an urban legend.
It might. I might.
Some
might
people
just be
think he
mine.
actually does it. Some people say that he had sex. He used to hook up with Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah,
that's another
yeah.
urban legend, which is funny.
Well, Isaiah Thomas definitely. He's a little
Yeah.
too soft spoken.
They're-
Him
yeah.
and Jim Dolan definitely fuck.
They're
That's
100%.
I mean, the only reason someone could still have their job.
It's-
The way he did it, like the way he sucked at his, is if he was sucking his dick.
having sex, with a guy. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think too with coronavirus, same way like how you said, somebody's going to have to be the face of Corona, and somebody's going to have to beat it, and then I think eventually, if the economy keeps tanking, you're going to have to just lie to the people and say we cured it when
Yes,
we didn't cure it. You're just
right.
going to have to say that.
Right. Well, that's
I'm
what's
just
gonna
going to start
happen.
tweeting it's cured in about 2 weeks if my ticket sales continue to go down. I'm just going to start trying to get big followers. I'll pay
We should
people.
all band together.
doing cameos.
The blogs, the comedians, the podcasters. Everybody just start saying it's okay. We'll just trick
and we'll-
everybody.
yeah, because I mean, comedy clubs are like half full.
Are they?
Everybody's
we
ticket
had a
sales
couple.
have like stopped
a couple like guests cancel on us, and they're
because of
canceling
Corona
their shows. And
because they're not flying to New York.
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, I don't know if is that people that I didn't think would be doing it now are succumbing to it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, my friend who's an ER doctor is like, look, I'm not a special disease doctor. He's like, but I'm telling you, like under the microscope, it looks pretty similar, and I don't know what you can. It's in the air, so I don't know what you want anybody to do. I don't know what quarantine is going to do. Like everyone's like, oh, but it's going down in China. It's like, yeah, it's going down in China because the whole country's locked in their house.
Right.
As soon as they come back out, it'll probably start to spread
back
again
up,
because
yeah.
it's just. So it's like I was listening to the Joe Rogan episode yesterday with that special disease doctor, and I'm calling it special disease. What do you call it? What do you call those types of doctors? Rare disease doctors? I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
It's a really special disease
you're asking.
doctor.
Look at the two of us. You're asking us.
No.
The cute disease doctors. and he was saying that, he was saying like he thinks as well. He's like, I think people are just going to, the only way to really eradicate a virus like that is everybody gets
Go through it,
The
yeah.
ones that survive, which he said will be upwards of 90%. He said, so you have a good chance of survival, and then you become immune to it, and then it dies.
Grandma and grandpa are gonna be dead, and you're
Well,
gonna be
that's what it
okay,
is.
and that's just what happens.
Yeah, that's just how it's going to fucking work.
Sometimes the world just fucks over grandparents.
Right?
Yeah,
Like, that's what they're here for. Is
Yeah,
to
it's
die.
what it's what
Did you hear? I don't know. This might
That's
be-
grandparents like not sole purpose, but their big one is to like teach you about death before you're
Right.
10.
Yeah.
Like teach you about mortality.
Your grandparents exist so that they can be your first funeral.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
I learned about
Like,
putting on
okay.
the suit
Yeah.
and going to the church and putting them in the fucking
It's like
dirt. And all
grandparents are like puberty for death.
Yeah,
where
right.
it's like, all right, now
Coming of age,
mom
like-
and dad are gonna have to talk with me real quick about how
Rite
we're
of
not gonna see
passage.
Nan anymore. She's
Right.
in a better
Yeah.
place and all that stuff.
Right.
You're like, all right, I get it.
And we're gonna
now.
go
Yeah.
to that weird place that smells funny, and she's gonna be in a box, and we're gonna talk and just stand around her.
Yeah, I
and-
remember my grandfather's funeral. I was eating McDonald's in the back, and like nobody said anything because I think it was just like, yeah, we knew Grandpa was going to die, so just have a kid's
Here's a
meal.
Happy
Dude,
Meal.
I've told my mom had us take our family Christmas
Oh,
picture.
this is fucking
before
gold.
my nana's funeral because we were all dressed up nice.
That's hilarious.
And we're like I look like I'm like crying. Like I'm like I'm not
love your mom.
I'm not currently
She's
crying.
a gangster, dude.
I have like swollen eyes. Like I look like a hungover dad or like a dad who's gone for a long day at work. Like my tie's a little adjacent.
Yeah.
And it's
Grandma's
just like
dead.
we're on our way to our nana's funeral.
And
she's
what was
so
it? It was
funny.
like not at all in the winter, right?
No.
Yeah, it was like
I don't
she died
remember.
in June or something. Let's take our family photo.
I
now
don't
for
remember
Christmas.
exactly when it was. We're definitely not in like winter. I guess we're in
Yeah.
winter clothes, but it's I don't know when it was. But
Dude,
it was
one of the
seemed
craziest things
hilarious.
I've ever seen at a funeral. When my kid's mom, her father died like suddenly. So my kid's grandpa died suddenly, right? Really horrible thing. We go to this funeral home on 4th Avenue in Brooklyn, and it's this old school like Italian guy. So like my kid's mom, she asked me, she's like, look, like, can you please negotiate like with the funeral guy? Like she was sitting right there. And I was like, yeah, whatever you need, because
Like
she's
the
so
costs
upset.
and shit?
Yeah, the cost,
Yeah.
and his guy is like, so he's like, all right, I'm sorry for you guys' loss. He goes, listen, he goes, I just, what was the man who passed away? What was his political affiliation? I swear to God. And I'm like, I don't know if that, matters, whatever. But he was a huge Donald Trump guy. So my kid's mom's looking at me, and I'm like, and then so I say, you know what? He voted for Trump, and he goes, that man out there voted for Donald Trump. And I said, yeah. And he goes, listen to me. He goes, here's what we're gonna do. He goes, the cost of the funeral is $4,000. He goes, right now it's $2,000. He just got it right now. I swear to God. He goes, right now it's $2,000. He goes, listen to me. He goes, here's what I want to do. because he died, because Trump's November of 2016, this guy died January of 2017. So there weren't a lot of big Trump guys. So he's like, here's what we're gonna do. He goes, I want to put a Make America Great Again Donald Trump wreath in the casket that's on our funeral home. And my kid's mom was like, no, please don't do that. He goes, let me put a Make America Great Again hat on the body. I swear to God. He just kept going. And then she kept saying no, Dude, when we put him in the ground, he had a fucking Make America Great Again pin on his suit. And then he starts going, he goes, yeah. He goes, thank God. He goes, some people got fucking sense. He goes, it's unfortunate that we just had to lose a fucking guy who voted for the right guy. He goes, I had a family in here yesterday. He goes, and I'm talking to them. And it's funny that he's even mentioning this shit while people are grieving. He goes, and I'm talking to them. He goes, and they just buried fucking whoever. That's what he said. He goes, they just buried whoever. And he goes, and I asked him, who do you vote for? And they told me they voted for Hillary. And I said, give me one good reason. Give me one fucking good reason. And he goes, not something that fucking Anderson Cooper said. He goes, give me one fucking good reason why you would vote for Hillary, and why, and tell me one thing that Trump hasn't done that hasn't been fucking fantastic for this country. Just one thing, not bullshit, real facts. Just tell me one thing Trump's done wrong in these last 2 months. And he said, I told him if they could tell me what Trump did wrong, I'd give them the funeral half off. And he goes, guess what? They paid full price.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then he fucking just, and then we just buried this guy, and he was just there the whole time. He was offering everybody coffee. He's like, this guy, he was telling me, he was like, he voted for Trump. This guy, he got the fucking, I think her father did fight in the army or didn't. I think he did, but there was like a problem. But anyway, he still had like the full, Medal of Honor, saxophone, American flag thing. And I don't even know. And he just did that. I don't even know if legally he was allowed to do that, but he just did it because he voted for Trump. He was like, it's an American hero, one way or another. And then he goes, anybody ever dies in your family, you come to me. And he gives us a card. Dude.
That's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, dude. Italian guys are the best. Cause,
and funeral people are weird, too, because that's just their day-to-day business. You're grieving. You're weirded out. You're tired. You're sad. He's just like, it's another day at the office.
Another day at the office.
I got 10 more coming in.
And you know what's interesting about conservative, because obviously he was a big Trump guy, and where I live in Bay Ridge is a more conservative neighborhood. The hysteria of a coronavirus, it hasn't hit Bay Ridge at all. In Bay Ridge, there's Purell everywhere, there's toilet paper. Yeah. People stop being homos. That's that's the bakery slogans. Don't be a homo, have a cookie. Coronavirus cookies. Dude, when Trump won in November of 2016, the bakery in Bay Ridge on 3rd Avenue, they were giving out free black and white cookies. Because Trump won, they were so excited. Everybody got a free black and white for 24 hours, or for as long as they were open. So it's a different. So that's why I think that's another reason why I don't think I'm as hysterical. I know that I should be. I'm not wishing it upon me, but I think because the neighborhood I come from, they're not hysterical.
In that Bay Ridge bubble,
they're old school guys. They're this is all fucking liberal bullshit. Yeah. They think they're this is all. They're anything that comes from the Chinese isn't real. Just like global warming. This isn't real. That's not real. That's what Bay Ridge guys sit on cafes. They sit outside bakeries and yell.
The fact that people can call a disease liberal.
Yeah. Oh, they do.
And coronavirus has a political affiliation.
Oh, yeah. My friend, you should see my group text because my friends.
That's why black people aren't getting it.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
The one tweet.
It's only for the gays.
The one tweet on Black Twitter that went viral was great. It said some news account said breaking news, Africa has its first death. And it was in Egypt, and it was a German man. And a black dude quote tweeted that and said, so we still at 0, right? 20,000 retweets, 100,000 likes.
Well, most of the deaths are they Asian, or definitely some
I would
non-Asians have went down.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
America had, this was a couple days ago, it was 500 cases, 25 deaths. So those are, probably.
How many have been, has every single one of them been compromised immune system or all though?
Vast. If not, 100%, I would guess.
We would hear if somebody young died.
If somebody young dies, if you think there's hysteria now, if a 30-year-old dies,
it's going to get bad news.
It's going to go crazy.
The government probably shouldn't.
The dude in Jersey who died was 60, and then you read up on him though, and he had diabetes and this and that. Yeah, he's a terribly unhealthy person.
Yeah,
but that's how these things work. These things are the final blow to old people.
What do you think? What if somebody's going through hormone replacement therapy? What if there's a guy out there right now who's getting estrogen who wants to become a woman would you, because I would assume that compromise your immune system, would they stop their estrogen replacement therapy in fear of the coronavirus? Would you delay your sex change?
That is the most specific coronavirus question I have heard.
No, I'm
yet.
asking for a friend.
Yeah, just hypothetically.
As I cover up my estrogen tip, I'm asking for a friend. I don't know.
Transition. That
It's just something to think about. If anybody out there, I'm sure you guys have a big trans fan base.
Huge.
Sure. Did you hear what North Korea did?
No, what North Korea did?
North Korea had a guy confirm coronavirus. Pow! Dead. 0 cases in North
What
Korea.
can you do?
Done.
That's what I think they should do with pedophiles too. I don't know why pedophiles are given a chance. It's like I understand that it's because it's a disorder in the brain. Right. It's like I look at a woman or some types of men, and I'm like, I want to bang that. But like, if you're looking at a child, like you can never change in my head that to find like a hot woman hot. She's always going to be hot to me. I'm always going to. My dick's always going to go pewing for that. So. If a guy, it's always men. If a man,
it's always
that's
men.
True.
For the most part, it's
well,
men.
I guess it's. I mean,
we just let it slide.
I think it's only men who fuck
student.
children. Yeah, and then
fuck children. Oh yeah, they fuck.
It's what I saw. I forget who it was. I saw a great bit where someone was like, "Did you know actually like people who fuck like teenagers aren't pedophiles? They're actually, and it's a different word for it." And he's like, "But you can't explain that without it sounding like a pedophile."
Right.
Yeah.
Like a guy's not a pedophile. I'm a teenophile.
It's well, it's always been again. Yeah, it's always been the men are always fucking like the children. So I think for them, it's like there's no place really that there's no rehabilitation for them. Like there's no prison. So why don't you get convicted of it, jury of your peers, like and then you just got to get one in the back of the head, like those air guns that they do to kill cattle. Yeah, just do that.
No guns,
because it's like you got a defective brain, and I can't allow you back into society. I know it's harsh. I'm not saying this would ever pass through legislation, but I'm just saying as a guy in a podcast with coronavirus, I'm just giving
it's also
here.
like they have the chemical castration, but if it was an option, I forget.
Wait, what is that? Well, you take a medicine and it just like kills your sex drive?
It kills your dick can't get hard anymore.
But
like
you still heat.
Oh, so it's like modern day, like a modern day eunuch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, which is wild.
It's like I don't know if it's a shot or a pill, but whatever it is, you're poisoned.
I could probably use
your
that
dick
sometimes.
doesn't work anymore.
I need like a.
I'd rather take the bullet to the head though, dude. If like your options are like when you like back in the day when you got a death sentence and it was like you want it to be electric chair, you want it to be firing squad.
What do you want? Yeah.
If you got option bullet in the head or no dick, like just do it.
Like, take the bullet in the head?
Yeah. Just because it's like, what's the point? Like, and that's not even talking about like, oh, I want to fuck or anything like that. Just like when I'm bored, I can't even play with my dick.
Right.
What are we doing here?
Right. Helicopter, it just stays there. Doesn't do anything. I think I could use a temporary one. Like, if I took a pill and for 2 weeks, I'm not thinking that way. I could use that.
You could use that.
You just break up with someone or you got something big going on at work or whatever, and you don't want to do anything stupid with your dick. I'm just gonna like kill my dick for 2 weeks.
Because genuinely, every decision that we make, especially as men, is sex motivated. We don't. I'm not. Some are very conscious, right there, like but some are just so in the back of our brains. But it's all for sex. Like even us doing
you go
this
to work
podcast,
to make money to get
it's
chicks.
All in the back of sex. So that's why in the ancient world they would castrate guys and cut their balls off and have them as eunuchs, and the emperors would have the eunuchs guard their wives or guard the harem of fucking sex slaves they have, because they're like, we don't have to worry about this guy anymore because his sex drive has been eliminated. So back in the day, like being a eunuch, it was like they would, like it's an honor to do this for us to fucking, eat your balls. But really it was just so they could trust you.
Yeah.
So it's very
very
interesting.
Trust a loaded dick.
You can't trust it at all. Yeah, I can't. No, dude, I think
yours, his, mine, any loaded dick is a danger.
I know, dude. I guess, dude, if we do go into quarantine, the fucking people are going to start ripping the skin off their dick. I mean, what else are you going to do if you can't leave the crib? Seriously. Just jerk off.
We need that. I need that like sex robot revolution to happen like right now.
Yeah, right.
Quarantine me with my sex robot. Leave me alone.
Just jerk. Yeah.
Otherwise,
even with a sex robot, it'd end up getting to the point of like.
It's just too
borderline rape. The robot would be like, Jesus Christ.
But like,
dude.
what's
like,
the
robot's not consenting?
What's the quarantine rules in Italy? Like, you have to be able to go outside.
Yeah, like, are you not going to work?
No,
can you go to the grocery store? Can you go?
It's limited to work, hospital workers, and government workers. But like, work is everybody.
Yeah.
So like, if we were in Italy right now, we couldn't do this.
I can't go to lunch.
I think we could. I think we could. I think it's I think a lot of the companies are, again, I don't know what I'm talking about, but
dude, we're fucking on the podcast. Reality is a suggestion. We'll say whatever we want. Dude, it doesn't matter. People, I don't care.
All right, yeah, you can definitely go to work. You can for sure go to work, but all non-essential personnel have been taken out of the country, but also like it seems like everyone's essential.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, where do you draw the line on that, Essential or not?
Dude, we were talking about that.
Talking about that
You're
with my
going to have
mom.
to quarantine here eventually.
I mean, if it keeps up, I bet.
I was talking with my mom where like if you get like if your office is open but you're told like you're okay, don't worry about it, find a new job. Like you're done.
Yeah,
that's you're on death row at that point.
They do not. Yeah, you are not.
Yeah, don't come to work. Well, no, the office is open, but you just don't.
You don't
come.
have to. Yeah,
you're all
find
set.
a new job.
Well, I'm on a job then.
Did you hear about New Rochelle?
Yeah, it's in the containment zone. Yeah, right.
Like National Guard, lockdown,
Well,
everybody staying there.
So we
what does
can't
that mean?
go.
Like National Guard's like patrolling the streets, like, and if you're out there, they're like, get back in your fucking house, sort of thing.
I don't know, but they definitely are sending the National Guard to keep that area contained.
I'm waiting for that Under the Dome show to become real life, where they just put a dome over New Rochelle, be like, you can't,
Like Chernobyl.
like you're physically quarantined now. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a couple of weeks ago I hooked up with a girl from New Rochelle, so I guess I should text her.
Watch out.
I haven't been. My friend. It's funny because my friend who's the ER doctor, he's like you're using condoms now. That's great. He goes. He was like just last week. He was like, but I would like don't like be making out with chicks. He's like all these girls like in the DM. He's like I would just for a little while. He was like just don't make out with anybody. And I was like, absolutely. I literally was like, absolutely, I won't. And there was a girl in my bed like, while I was talking to him. I was like, I won't. I'm being a lot better now. I'm being a lot safer. So then I was like, listen, if we're gonna fucking have sex, you gotta mask up. We gotta go condoms on the head and the cock. Both heads. I was like, my boy. And I literally remember we had sex, but I was just kissing her neck lightly. I didn't kiss her lips anymore.
It's like Pretty Woman. Like
That's
no
how I have
kissing.
sex anyway.
No kissing.
More like doggy style is big. I mean, I guess you do doggy. I don't know. I know
a girl from New Rochelle, and I saw she posted her screenshots of her tweets or texts with her friends, and it's like a late night text, and you can tell they're all just like drunk girls, and they were like, "Can we still get pizza?" like late night worry, like does the National Guard still deliver pizza?
Yeah,
that's what people care about.
What are you
at the end of
the
the day? People care about the things that really matter in their life.
You think
know
people?
what I mean?
You think Chinese food is down?
Oh yeah,
100%.
Chinatown is
Ghost town.
Chinatown and Corona are like really
Getting
not
crushed.
doing well.
Getting
really
crushed, right?
I saw that. I think it was someone had an article where like support Chinatown, and it does make sense, but also at the same time,
really.
like, eh.
Well,
I'd rather just not.
I saw a video of a guy on a subway just
like,
yelling
why
at an
risk
Asian
it?
dude.
You know,
I mean,
I'm risking it enough all day with the coughs and the handshakes and using doors. When I'm home, alone at home, no point. I don't watch Asian porn.
When you
It's
see
just
an
like,
Asian, are you thinking coronavirus?
no.
Yeah, I mean, there was a video of a guy in the subway like yelling at an Asian dude, being like,
That's
"Get
stupid.
the fuck out of my car!" And I was like, "That's like excessively ignorant racism." But at the same time, I don't think I'm gonna go take a stroll through Chinatown right now.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not looking to eat those dogs that they hang in the windows.
no
you
chance.
Know what I mean,
no chance. I mean, yeah, like I ordered. There's not one part of me that's like thinks that like that's stupid, ignorant racism. But because it's a virus. I mean, it's like I don't look at anyone, Asian person. I'm like, oh my god, you have coronavirus, get away from me. Not at all. But because it's like this heightened thing. Like I ordered food just a couple of nights ago. I ordered pizza, and the Chinese guy was the delivery guy was Chinese, and I just kicked him down my stairs. I just took the pizza and said, "Get the fuck out of here, you virus!" And I let him barrel roll down the stairs. But that's just because I'm in the quarantine zone.
let me ask you a question. Seriously though, is it weird for you, or are you used to it, that people are just always laughing at you?
What do you-
like in a good way, not like laughing at you, but like laughing at your jokes. Like,
No,
you're just a fucking hysterical person, and everything you're saying is either a joke or funny delivered, and they're always laughing. And you're always performing. You're basically always performing.
I'm always just.
It's just everyone finds you hysterical.
Well, the thing
is that weird?
It's not weird because it all is going to end. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to blow my fucking head off with like an old school. Like I'm going to actually bayonet my head like the 1700s. Just go old school warfare. But it's funny. It's like actually like my kid's mom is like she's the one who's just been like is everything just always going to be a joke with you?
I can definitely
like
see that.
why is everything always? Because my daughter is very like my daughter's just fucking constantly performing, and my kid it's trying to like piss my kid's mom off. She's like, what? I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like I'm sitting here, like the way I deal with my own anxiety and my own insecurities is by trying to make other people laugh and making myself laugh. I'm like, what do you like? How do you want me to change now?
Right.
And she's like,
I wish I wasn't depressed and insecure, but I am, so I crack jokes.
So I fucking crack jokes. It's like, yeah, how many times have you come in and on the toilet I have a fucking t-shirt gun in my mouth, just ready to blow one through the back of my skull for no reason? It's like a beautiful day, and I just, dude, this is what. 2.5 years ago, me and my kid's mom had just broken up, and it was a beautiful fucking June day. I'll never forget. It was like, one of those days, like 75 degrees, perfect, gorgeous, sunny. And I thought I was going to go see my daughter, and her mom was like, oh, we actually have plans. I'm going to take her by my sister's house in Jersey for the weekend, so you could see her on Monday. And this was like Friday morning. I was like, okay. I was like, it's a fucking beautiful. I called my dad, and he was like, it's a beautiful day. Go for a walk. I was like, yeah, I hate the sun. And then he was like, what? You do? I was like, yeah, I hate the sun. So I literally put a few pairs of socks and underwear and 2 pairs of Lululemon jogging pants in a book bag, went to JFK and got on a flight to Scotland. And I flew to Glasgow, Scotland, a direct flight, just because I looked at the weather and it was 50 and raining there. And I stayed in Glasgow. I'll never forget. I stayed in Glasgow in a Holiday Inn Express, like 2 miles outside the airport, and went to downtown Glasgow and back and hung out and walked around in the rain and cold for 48 hours and then flew back and just got my daughter, because you leave. I left at 9 a.m. and got back at noon. Yeah. And then just went and picked up my daughter, and my kid's mom was there, and she was like, how was your weekend? I was like, it was fine. It was fine.
Totally normal weekend.
I was literally across the ocean in the rain and cold by myself with pretty much nothing. And by the way, I packed 2 pairs of pants, underwear, and socks. I wore 1 pair of underwear. I changed my socks once, and then I just wore the 1 pair of pants I had on. I never took it off. And I had a great time. But I was like, so there is this slight depression that I have, because I'm always attracted to the rain and the clouds. But I don't know. I think having a child, if I didn't have a child, I would be close at times to be not committing suicide. That's ridiculous. But I would just, I'd take hostages.
There's a difference between suicide and just actively wishing death.
Yeah.
That's it's like everything. I don't want to do it.
A massive
But if it happens, then whatever. Yeah. I've been thinking about that a lot with coronavirus and how we do the podcast. And if I got it, or if I got cancer and was dying or something like that, and we just keep doing the show and be like, this is how it was gonna go the whole time.
Yeah.
This was always how it was gonna end.
If
with you on one side of a door finishing the podcast through a phone, because I'm in quarantine. It's like, yeah, this is how it was gonna end.
If you guys close the office down, if you have no choice, if the government is saying you have to, then what do? I guess you just Skype.
Yeah.
I think podcasting and radio stuff is especially podcasting, is going to go up if we get quarantined, because what are people going to do?
Yeah.
So I feel like some careers could be made. I'm hoping for the quarantine.
Well, I said we got a guy here who's probably got it. He's been out with the flu for a solid 7 days now.
Right.
Announce to the world, whether you do or not, that you have coronavirus, and follow along with me and skyrocket, bro.
Skyrocket it down. Close it down.
You're now speaking to a first-hand, let me tell you what's going on with coronavirus, and you fearmonger and you spread misinformation and you get more followers and you blow up.
It's what it is. Yeah, no, it's actually a great idea, because of all in this world that we live in. I think I said this last time, when Hyenas and I on our History of Hyenas thing, we write fake articles. All the time. We write fake articles because so many articles are bullshit. It's just you're making stuff up. It's the New York Times, but they're lying. They're lying about it. They're just saying, go see this special, or this is what this scientist said. It's all bullshit. So yeah, at some point now, especially if it's, there's misinformation anywhere.
If you're going to be lying, I might as
well lie, and I'll go out there. I'll say, listen, this is what I have.
Right.
I've fucking got the coronavirus. And I'm patient zero, and then I'll just get a bunch of followers.
I watched Contagion last night. That's literally what Jude Law does.
He lies?
No, he's like the journalist, right?
Yeah. And he's like an Alex Jones type before Alex Jones existed. It's a movie from 2011. Right. I watched it last night. I don't know if that's sick or what, but Contagion, Corona made me want to watch Contagion. I'd never seen it.
Dude, I can never.
That's not sick. It's up 50%. A lot of people are watching it.
Well, a lot of people are sick.
It's trending.
But he's like an Alex Jones. I think it's called I forget what his website is called, but it's something along the lines of InfoWars. It's Truth Be Told or whatever. And he says he has whatever that disease they have, and he's taking forsythia or something like that, just some herb.
Okay.
And he says it cures his forsythia. Then he starts selling forsythia, makes $4.5 million, and he never had it. So that's basically what we could do. We could
like
just
to
say
make
we have it.
$400 million.
I like to be like Miller Lite cures my coronavirus.
Promo code KFC for 20% off your coronavirus cure. Come on, get it.
I can never tell. I always get Jared Leto and Jude Law confused. I don't know
really?
which one is which. Are they very different?
Very different.
I don't know,
One's
man.
British.
Jude Law's
one's
like a pretty boy from Britain, and Jude Law's a fucking lunatic from outer space.
Where's
No,
Jude Law
Jared
from?
Leto. No, Jude
Jared
Law's
Leto,
from
yeah.
Britain.
And where's Jared Leto from?
LA,
space.
probably.
He's from outer space. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just can never get those guys. I can't keep those guys ever in my head right. I don't know why.
Oh, speaking of LA,
Yes.
Yeah,
you had quite a tweet. How was Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, which now they're saying they're not going to air it, which I'm like, just fucking air it. Air it as a
Boy,
bomb.
I said to him afterwards, I'm sure this is in your head. You're your own worst critic. It's pretty good. If Kimmel's coming back to you, being like, we're not airing this.
Yeah.
That
Well, no,
must
I
have
don't
been
think
bad.
it's Jimmy Kimmel. I think it's like
No, but
they
the people,
saw
I'm
the
saying,
tweet.
if the show
But the
was-
thing is like I tweeted that out. And it's like, it's my most, Twitter lets you know, it's my most favorited retweeted tweet ever. So they're like, I'm like, what? Like, this is going to get at least my fans to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, why not, And they're saying they're probably not. But yeah, here's what happened. So when you do a late night set, David Letterman, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Fallon, you do it at their studio, okay? And then you'll do it at the end of the show. So there have been a whole comedy show, guests and monologues and all that. And then the producer will come out and say, and the warm-up comic would say, hey, we got a guy, he's going to do 5 minutes, like give him all your attention, give him all your energy, blah, blah, blah. And then, the Jimmy Kimmel or whomever the hostess will say, what you'll see on TV, the audience will see, and, all the way from New York City, please welcome Chris Distefano. And then you do the set in the room is fucking warm. This situation, it was going to be on Jimmy Kimmel's show, which he does out of Los Angeles, but the set is filmed from his comedy club in Las Vegas. So that's strike one. Strike two, they had a warm-up comic do about 2.5 minutes, like not enough time, and then his sister does comedy. His sister is a comedian. And really nice woman. I just didn't know, it's a job. To be a professional warm-up comic is like a specific
You know
job.
how to
Like,
do it,
usually the professional warm-up comics aren't as good as stand-up as they are at warming up a crowd because it's more than jokes. You got to play games with them and throw a fucking beach ball around and tickle people and it's a whole game that you play, but it works because the crowd's like in a great mood and then they just laugh at the 5 minutes of jokes. So I go up there. The room is, first of all, the first warm-up comic, it was just like, like it was 300 people. That's just not conducive. Then the other comic goes up doing jokes about, I don't fucking know, or pussy or something. I don't fucking know what the jokes are about. They were jokes about something. I was kind of listening, not listening. I'm sure she was fine, but I just, you're not really paying attention. But I do know nobody was laughing. That's what I know. So I go out there and you can just tell the room. It's like one of those things when you walk out to a hot room, they're clapping. And the clapping doesn't stop until you get to like the microphone or even you have to be like, stop it. Like I walk out and like I'm not even at the mic and they're just like
Done. Yeah.
done. Just like just my dad's
and
like, woo.
they're here for you though, or for
They're here
the night of
They're there
comics?
for a night of comedy. I don't even think that they know that it's for late night.
Right.
I think that they think that they're just going to this comedy club.
Right.
They got free tickets because it's a TV taping, but I don't think they necessarily know. I don't know how in depth it was explained.
Right.
So I go up first. I was one of 4 comics who was going to do their set. By the time the 4th comic went on, the crowd was great. I heard that comic fucking smashed. But I go up and it's like such a cold room. And the reason why I felt confident tweeting out like I fucking bombed and it's because I have so much stuff on the internet of my work. I just done 2 podcasts before that, The Fighter and the Kid and Theo Von's This Past Weekend podcast, which combined had already had like over 2 million
you knew
views
you was doing good
and
work.
downloads. I'm like, that's the real work in 2020. Like the Kimmel Show doesn't get that many views.
Yeah.
Not his fault. It's just what it is in America now. So I already felt like I'm confident I did the work, where I needed to shine, I did okay.
Yeah.
And so I go out there and the first joke that usually gets a lot of laughs just kind of bombs. And I was just like, oh boy, I could feel that this is not going to go well. Then the second one gets a full 0. So then like a full 0. So I was like, wowsies. So then the third one I was telling, and then in the middle of it, I just stopped and I was like, you guys fucking suck. I said that on late night television. I was like, you guys fucking suck. And then just looked around and then went right back into my joke. So, and then just continued to gradually get worse until the last one, because you have to do a 5-minute, another thing, you have to do your 5-minute approved set. So if that was a normal comedy club, if that wasn't a
Switch gears or
I
whatever.
would have just done crowd work, been made fun, went to, dirtier jokes or jokes that really wake people up. But you can't do that when you get that 5-minute set is vetted. So I had to come out and very inorganically be like, what America's problem is, where like I wouldn't say that if I would come out and be like, what the fuck is wrong with everybody? Like just start yelling about the coronavirus. I would just start yelling and then I would do my set.
Right.
But I couldn't do that this time. So I felt like my hands were tied. So then the last joke I did was just about getting blowjobs, which is not TV friendly or approved. But I was like, all right, at least this is like my closure that I close in clubs with. This will get a laugh, and then that bombed. so even with my closer that I do in regular comedy shows, just a fucking settle. And I just walked out, and the producer was like, oh, don't worry, we'll pump laughs into it. And I said, if you're gonna air that thing, I need you to air it as the fucking bomb. I was like, because I'm gonna tweet out my experience. He was like, no, don't do that. That's not necessary. I was like, the tweet's coming.
Set, brother.
I was like, I can't wait to fucking get out of here and send this fucking tweet. And then I literally, as soon as I got in the car to go to the airport, I fucking opened up Twitter and I just started throwing it. And then I got so much support, so many comedians calling me, dying laughing or sending me messages. But because there really isn't anything funnier, I think, to a comedian than the two things that make comedians like fucking gut laugh is when a good comedian, like really bombs, like what happened, like really eats it and is trying to get out of it and they can't. It's so funny, or farts. One of those two.
Does that happen?
You can ask like the most brilliant comedians. Nothing is funnier than a fart. It's just like a ripping a nice fart. It's like that thing that Barstool posted with the fart hits third gear. Like that. I was crying. My daughter was in a swimming class. Whereas parents, you're supposed to be very vigilant because they're like, hey, listen, we're not in the pool, but like as a parent, keep an eye on your kid. And I literally am like crying, laughing at that fart hitting third gear, and my daughter's fucking swimmies fell off, and she's like laughing like that, and I'm like, oh shit, and then I'm like crying, and I bet the instructor thought I was crying because I was nervous, but I was fucking laughing at the third gear fart.
I feel like part of that though, I don't think you ever want to blame the crowd, right? But like, you're a fucking good comic. You kill with that material, and now all of a sudden it's not working. Maybe you didn't deliver it the same way. Maybe this, maybe that. But the majority is like that crowd for that night, for whatever reason, is the problem, not you, right?
Yeah, I think. Listen, it's always the comedian's fault. At times, yes,
but
the crowd.
I know that's what you guys say because like it's almost like that's part of the job or whatever. But you're delivering the same jokes that kill every other time.
The only reason why I say it was my fault, those jokes they were worked out, crafted jokes that have done well in the past. That's why they got approved to go on the show. The reason why I'm saying it is still my fault is because all those things that I said, I'm saying, I couldn't do crowd. I could have done it. I actually could have done it and then just blown past the line and been like, hey, I got them to the place I needed to then do my 5 minutes. But because I kind of, in a way, pussied out. I don't want to pussy it out, but like I want to be like professional.
Following the rules, basically.
Follow the rules where like, some more renegade guys would be like, no, fuck that. I'm not going to allow myself to go on television if it's not the crowd I want. They would have. So that's why I say like it kind of is my fault. What wasn't my fault though is like the way that's set up is just like not conducive to 5 minute.
Laughter,
also, stand-up comedy on a late night show is not really what 2020 is about. It's not like I can come on here or go on those podcasts I mentioned and give you an hour to 2 hour version of myself that'll make somebody say, I want to buy tickets to go see this person, as opposed to some shiny business card 5 minute bullshit set where they're like, hey, don't say your daughter's Puerto Rican. I'm like, but she has a tattoo on her tit and she's 4. She is Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? I'm like, so like why? Like they'll tell you that. They'll be like, oh, we don't know if we want you to. We could do this stuff about your daughter, but just don't even mention her race. I'm like, she's proud. Her mother's a proud Puerto Rican. Like, what are you talking about?
You can't say that your daughter's Puerto Rican?
No, Jimmy Kimmel was okay with it, but other late night sets have said the requests they make you do. Like when you see a comedian on late night, you don't understand. Like they don't want to do that set.
No,
that's not the real set. Like don't ever judge a comedian on that because it's like they're putting you in this little fucking box.
I think people know that.
That
though,
is-
right? I mean,
that's
I do.
crazy.
But that's why they
how-
buy on the podcast. That's why, like, every time you guys say "come on," I'm like, yes, because people buy tickets to my shit after I make appearances here because they're like, oh, I at least I get an honest chance to prove myself.
Yeah.
5 minute late night said you don't get a chance.
Right.
It's crazy. I was reading the book Robin, which is about like Robin Williams and like his come up, and he got Mork and Mindy after 15 minutes on Johnny Carson. And like, granted, he was working clubs too and stuff like that, but like it was
that ain't
get 15 minutes on Johnny Carson, get your hard 15 or whatever it was, hard 5, whatever they call it, and then like that crushed, and they're like, okay, we're gonna put him on the network show now.
That's how
like,
Ray
that's
Romano.
insane.
That's how Ray Romano got Everybody Loves Raymond. David Letterman loved him. He crushed. He did his 5. He did a couple of sets on Letterman, but Letterman's like, "Hey, time to make you a star now." That's just how it worked. Now that's very, very infrequently happens where 5 minutes gets you anything. Right. Now it's like. Now it used to be the way it used to work is big managers would see a talent, see a guy maybe in his early 20s, mid 20s, or even some older guys, but just see a talent and say, I'm going to build this.
Yeah.
You and I are going to build this together. We're going to have a sitcom, movies, all that. Now it's reversed. Now I as the artist have to build everything, and then at the end. Somebody attaches themselves to me and says, here, I could get you this last little rung. So that's why there's this movement now, at least in entertainment, in stand-up comedy, for like, people are cutting their managers. They're like, hey, like, I'm doing a lot of the work. We need the agent to go out and book us in these gigs. But the manager or like these jobs are becoming less and less significant because there's so much groundwork that I'm doing. It used to be the manager takes 10% because they're doing they're really helping you out a lot. And now, it's just like,
you do your own social media,
yeah,
your own appearances.
You booked me on this, and I booked myself on The Fighter and the Kid, and I know those people are like, I have the power now to make a social media video and it could hopefully go viral, or like I sell a lot of tickets now because I told a story about 9/11. You're right. So I told that comedy story, and I had done that on my hour special on Comedy Central, and it kind of just came and went because it was in their parameters. Nothing against Comedy Central, they're great people, but there's certain things like they didn't want me to say. I say in the bit, I call myself Chrissy, and I'm like, every time my dad calls me my transgender name, like I knew shit was about to go down, and they're like, you can't say transgender. Right. So I had to change it, and it's like all those things affect the bit to a point where it's like it could, because it's this game. Entertainment's about edges, man. Like same as sports. Like these people are not that much better than the next guy. It's just they're that 1%, and then that boom, they're gone.
Yep.
So that's what it is with comedy too. So I do this 9/11 story, and from the Comedy Cellar with their camera, which is good but not $200,000 camera, with their audio equipment, which is good but not $50,000 audio equipment. I was drunk. I was wearing fucking whatever sweatpants, so not all buttoned up.
Yeah.
I did it my own way. I took a bit that was 6 minutes on my special and did like 12 or 13 minutes on the YouTube clip. And I just put that out, and that's the one that went viral. And that's the thing that is selling me more tickets. That and my podcast and being a podcast
How
guest.
do you know that? You just like look at sales after that went out, or people are saying I bought those?
No, that and all the messages, all the sales. Like now, like last year, I was at a point where, like I would say, from 2014 to 2018, I maybe sold out 1 or 2 shows in 4 or 5 headlining years, and now it's like I got a show April 18th at in Newark at the Victoria Theater, and like that's a theater show, and we added a show. So like the first one sold out so quick. Or Gramercy Theater on March 19th.
Theaters, let's
Chrissy
go.
Theaters, they just are adding theater shows. Now with the coronavirus, some of the tickets have slowed down, but before that, it was all just like, because they would go to, you need like a funnel. Like they'll hear me on your guys' show say, and then they'll say, okay, where's more of this stuff? And then it funnels to them to that 9/11. And then that's a 12, 13 minute representation of my comedy where they say, you know what? I'll buy this person's ticket, or I won't. But the 5 minute late night set, they're going to be like, no.
That fucking 9/11 clip ruined my night once watching Ready or Not. I was watching Ready or Not with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I was fucking flipping through Instagram, and I think you had reposted it, and I had seen it. I knew it was hilarious. And I was like, you got to see this. And I showed it to her. And then she made us watch your Answer the Internet, both your fucking Answer the Internets. Yeah. Ended up at being 40 minutes of Chris and Distefano. I'm trying to see what happens with the fucking LeFew family, or whatever their fucking name was.
That's the girls can't get enough.
They can't get enough. It's almost
especially when you're wearing this fit. That
Whoa,
shirt, that Hollywood
look at that blouse, baby.
Look at that blouse.
I got a blouse.
The first time I met you, you came to my office and I was wearing a particularly feminine sweater.
Yeah.
And you made fun of me for wearing a female sweater. And now look, this guy
Get
comes
that up
back
there.
around.
Chrissy blouse.
Fucking like collarless fucking blouse.
Little Mandarin collar.
Little fucking
that.
mandolin collar. Yeah, with my P code, I'm a fucking PCP, Pico pussy. Yes,
if
baby.
you ever need to, like, what are the boys back in Bay Ridge talking about Donald Trump thinking this fucking
Oh,
look?
yeah, nice fucking. I mean, I posted a video and I was like, oh, it's funny. My daughter's yelling. She's not on camera. It's great. And then I got like 40 DMs and I'm like, oh, this one, maybe this one went viral. And it's all like, you pussy, nice blouse. Nice blouse, homo. Gay, sure.
I screenshot it right away because it was a couple nights ago. I was
Yeah.
like, sending the cat. I was like, we gotta talk about this. Sure.
Yeah. One of my I have a gay follower who's always messaging me, and he's like, oh, he's like, somebody's back. That blouse on. Yeah.
It's a nice shirt. It's a shirt I'd wear, which means
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's gay.
That's why it's, no, dude. I
Can't wait for you two to fuck.
Dude, I'm down.
Yeah,
Dude.
can I do the wedding?
When he comes in with chlamydia in his ass, you know what happened the night before. You know, Chrissy Drip Drop got you. When he's like, why do I have an ass leak? I'm like, and then I'm just there like that.
In the ass.
Dude, I'm 2 months STD free. Thank you, sobriety.
Hey,
Sobriety.
congrats, man. You get a chip for that?
Yeah, I get chip. Yeah, I get a chip. Yeah.
That's very funny, man.
Oh, you know, it's fucking great, dude.
So what, you got the History Hyenas live show? as
Live
well as your
show,
own?
March 19th, second show added, 10 o'clock show. It's the first day of March Madness, but there's going to be you can't go to the games anyway. So you might as well come to Gramercy Theater because the venues are going to be shut down, but Gramercy Theater's open right now. Gramercy Theater Live History Hyenas show, and then April 29th, Wall Street Theater Live History Hyenas show out in Norwalk, Connecticut. And then me, ChristyComedy.com for all my dates. I got Austin, which is almost sold out in April.
When's Boston?
April 24th, 25th, Laugh Boston. North Carolina, I don't know if you got fans in Raleigh, North Carolina, April 9th to the
Got
11th.
idiots everywhere, babe.
Babe,
I'm everywhere.
But April 18th, Victoria Theater, Newark, New Jersey. Second show's added, so get the tickets because they're moving. So get them, baby. And then Vancouver. I got to go to Vancouver April 2nd to the 4th, but I feel like they may cancel that. But come. If they don't. Because it's in the Pacific Northwest
Yeah, that's a
area.
tough spot right
Dude,
now.
did you read what happened there?
No.
That's just crazy, actually.
In Seattle or
Seattle?
Vancouver?
Dude, in Seattle, right? So early January, there was this doctor who had a bunch of sick people, and CDC was like, you're not allowed to test them. You're not allowed to test them for corona. And you're not allowed to test them. You're not allowed to test them. So then finally, she's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm testing these people. They are sick. 15 out of 16 had coronavirus. And then CDC's like, stop testing them. Stop telling anyone what happened here.
Really?
North Korea shit.
Well, I think New York just surpassed them as we have the most cases
Yeah.
now. Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Fuck it. Is New York not the best?
Welcome to the
Never
city,
forget.
baby.
Never forget.
Away dreams are made up. I feel like we're ready. Like, I've seen all the germs and all. I think that's why I'm not panicking. It's just like, I don't know, man. I've seen it all. I feel like I have it all. We've been exposed to it all.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was traveling last week. I'm always on planes. It's like I just kind of feel like I'm going to do everything that Dr. Oz tells me to do.
Yep.
But I just don't know if you're telling me also it's in the air.
Right.
What
Then-
am I
then-
supposed to do? And you're telling me the masks don't work.
Yeah, gotta
so what do
breathe.
you want me
But
to fucking do?
Speaking of in the air, though, my favorite thing about the coronavirus is the camaraderie that comes from everyone that's not coughing.
Okay.
I went to see a movie. I went to see The Way Back with Ben Affleck. Great flick.
Right.
And there was one dude who like blew his nose like twice, sneezed twice, and you could just it was completely unspoken. But you could feel the whole theater like,
Yeah.
if he does it again, we're gonna fucking kill him.
yeah.
Give me-
It's like 9/11. Let's roll.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's
Yeah.
like there have been few moments in my life when I could like feel in the air just something happening.
yeah.
One was no joke. Actually, it's only been 2 times. It was one Patriots Falcons Super Bowl where I was in a full Patriots section, and it was like no one was saying anything. But the whole fourth quarter, we were like, this is happening. This is fucking happening. And then the other time, at The Way Back, when this dude was sneezing, and it was like everyone it was palpable. Like, we're gonna kill this guy.
kill him.
We're gonna fucking kill him.
If he goes one more
Stone him
time,
to death.
it's
Dude,
fucking done.
Did I ever tell you my in the air Phil Collins story?
No, please.
Oh my God. Okay. So this is like 4 years ago, right? Madison Square Garden. I got like courtside seats, you know, I'm with my pops, and my pops is
I
like,
love your fucking dad.
Yeah, my dad's just there, and you know, we used to sit in the upper deck, and my dad's just like, fuck, great, whatever. So we got these courtside seats,
And we're talking like courtside. We're like
courtside, and when you get them through the certain guy to MSG, you go up on the Jumbotron. That's like part of it.
Oh,
I'm
right.
I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, I don't want, it's actually like embarrassing. Like they had put me on once before, and it's just like, you know, what the fuck? I don't want to do this, you know? And then it's nice honor, but I'm like, eh. So anyway, we go there. We're sitting down. I'm like, I hope they don't put me on the jumbotron. And then my dad is like, if they do, they do. Like, whatever. and then my dad and Phil Collins was sitting next to my father, and it was so funny. It was like Easter Sunday 4 years ago when we were Knicks Sixers when they both sucked. And my dad, at one point I look over, and my dad's got his hand in Phil Collins' Easter candy bag. Because Phil Collins had Easter candy, like chocolate bunnies, and he must have asked him, but I didn't see that. But I just look over, and my dad's got his hand in Phil Collins' bag, and Phil's like watching the game, and my dad's like just eating the chocolate. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm having candy. So and they're talking. Phil Collins and my dad are talking, and it's fine. And they're laughing. My dad's making Phil Collins laugh. He's like, I heard him once. He goes, do you really talk like that? Or you put the accent on? Are you really from England? And Phil's like, yes, I am. He goes, I don't believe guys with the accent. And then we're like, all right, it's fucking Phil Collins. So anyway, they come over. I see the cameraman coming over. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be good. Maybe I'll just, they'll put Phil Collins on the jumbotron, and that'll be great. I was like, they're coming over. It's for Phil. So they put Phil Collins on the jumbotron, and they play in, and it's I'm like, yeah, like literally like 15,000, 18,000 people, whatever it holds, on their feet, fucking clapping, and I'm like, that was so fucking cool. I've never once seen them put the lights down for somebody on the jumbotron, but they put the lights down a little bit for him to make it like even bigger. And it's all on Instagram. Like they were like, and it was like fuck, and he went like that, like like it was crazy. And people are like, oh my god, fucking Phil Collins did that, iconic. Literally, lights go down. I look up, I see a clip of my stand-up on the jumbotron. I'm like, please tell me they're not putting me next. Please tell me I don't have to follow Phil Collins right now on the fucking jumbotron. Please no. And then the guy's got the camera up, and I'm going, no, I don't want it. I'm telling the guy, I'm like, we don't need to do it. And my dad's like, be a man, do it, be a man. And then the lights come on, and it's just my clip with a joke that kind of gets like a muddled laugh from my Comedy Central half-hour special. And literally, you could hear a fucking pin drop. It's dead silent. And you hear like 20 rows back, as clear as day, somebody go, who the fuck is that? And then they have me on the jumbotron on camera, and you could see my dad's hand. I just feel it rubbing my back like a 6-year-old. He's just slowly rubbing my back. As I'm bombing with a full 0 from MSG on the jumbotron, and then yeah, and then literally like it comes down, and then I just see down Phil Collins reaches across, he goes, candy, and he offered me some Easter candy, and I was like,
oh, now I get why you fucking consider suicide to hang out in Glasgow.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, why couldn't you put me first? Just put me first. Why did you make me follow Phil? And then like it was one of the I've never. I'm sure this never happened. It's literally that happened to me, like on the jumbotron, and then members of the Knicks staff came over and apologized to me. That's how bad it was. Somebody's like, I'm sorry, we should have put you first, or not at all, but Mr. Dolan sends his condolences.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, I don't think much longer. I think if you're gonna be on the jumbotron these days, people are gonna know
what was interesting,
who the fuck it is.
I was on the jumbotron like a month ago, and again, nothing against these other two people, but the first person went up, and they had been a guest on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon before, an actress. I don't know her name, and it was okay. Nobody really clapped. It was like a couple of people, like nobody's being rude, but people like, I just don't know who that is. Yeah. Then the second person who went up had just won a fucking Emmy. They had just won an Emmy in comedy. In comedy, they just won an Emmy. I know this person. They just fucking won an Emmy. Like 3 days before that, you could hear a fucking pin drop. It was like me with Phil Collins. And then the next quarter, they put me up, and they played a clip of my Comedy Central hour special, and they put from the History Hyenas podcast. And I didn't get a huge pop, but very, very noticeable, more than those two. No shit. And it was one of those, it's not really about me, it's just about like where people are consuming your entertainment. It's like the first two were TV, even though they won prestigious awards and done prestigious shows, nobody cared. I'm the internet guy and the podcast guy, and people are like, oh, I know who this fucking guy is. I'm not saying they were going crazy, but it was the most claps I've ever gotten, for sure. So I was like, yeah, fuck you, Dad.
Can I get a clip of that for my dad? I'm going to show him that you guys clap.
Yeah, actually, Mike Cannon, who's a guest, so he was on it.
Made out with him?
I made out. I tried to fucking make out with him, and they put the camera down. I literally went full tongue with the guy for a bit, and nobody saw it but me and him. And the people
I'm sure you
around
were
us.
so upset about it, Chris.
And the people, and I was fucking putting in work. I was talking to this model, and then I did that bit, and she just didn't talk to me at all. After I was like, I'm not gay. I just kiss guys for bits. And she's like, bye. Yeah.
All right, man. Always a pleasure. Go
Thank
get
you,
your
Bubbas.
tickets. Go download Hyenas.
Yep.
Chris Distefano everywhere. You're gonna be the next big thing, babe.
Love you.